Hi, I'm Colin from Tyne Valley Motorhomes, and today I will be showing you the handover on the Chausson Titanium 720, which is a 2020 model. Once you arrive on site or you want to hook the vehicle up to charge, lift the collar back on the hookup lead, lift the flap on the passenger side and slide on to the hookup point. To unhook the vehicle, there's a small blue lever that you have to push down and slide off. Always hook the van up first, then your point, as we don't want you walking around with a live lead, or if your lead happens to be sliced or anything, we don't want you to be walking around and get electric shock. In this locker here, which opens with your small key, you have your freshwater intake. So this is how to fill your freshwater tank, which is under slung. So you put your hose pipe in there. So I would go and buy a hose pipe that has it from any shop and just don't use it in the garden. Keep it on board on the van, and with some hose lock fittings and a brass tap fitting. And to fill it up, just put the hose into here, fill it until it overflows, or you can see inside the level of water on board. If you are wild camping, you will have to take the full tank with you. If you are going onto a site, take a maximum of 20 litres. This gives you the opportunity to stop and use the toilet or have a cup of tea if you go on a further journey. This little tap here is called your travel drain tap. So what that does is, if you've got a full tank, it will drop all the water apart from 20 litres, which means that you can then travel with lighter weight on board but still have the water on board to facilitate the toilet and have a cup of tea. In here you've got your trips whilst on 230 electric. So if your hairdryer or kettle trips the van out, check here first before checking the site. You've got two fuses here for your diesel heating. So should your diesel heating go from a solid light in the middle to a flashing light, come out and just pull the fuses out and put the fuses back in, and then turn the diesel heater back on, and it should go back to a solid green light in the middle of the arrow. And then you do have your standard blade fuses for your pump lights and all your other auxiliary outputs. So it would be a good idea to go and buy some spare blade fuses from Halfords or your local motoring shop and just keep them on board. To drain the fresh tank fully, so this only drains 20 litres, all chilled 20 litres. To drain the other 20 litres, there is a small bung located underneath the vehicle. So if we'll just have a look underneath the vehicle there, that white push fitting, simply pull it off if you want to drain it all the water off the vehicle. And in the winter it's crucial that that bung comes off, as you don't want the water to freeze in your tanks. At the passenger door, so this is your boiler flue. So when on gas, the cover must come off. So this is the cover. So to take it off, push down and peel back. It comes off when heating the water on gas. If you're heating the water on electric, you can leave it on, or if you're heating the water on electric and gas, it comes off. When travelling, you can put it on, but basically it allows some air around here and allows the fumes out. And if the cover was on, your boiler will go to a red light and fail because it doesn't identify the air blowing around the flue to get the fumes out. Good tip is to leave it in your passenger door, and as soon as you come to depart the site, clip it on. Here you've got your diesel, so it's what's called the easy fill, which is on most Ford cars and vans. So just simply push the fuel filler in there and it will fill, and then below you have your AdBlue, which is a 20 litre tank. It will give you a mileage countdown of when it needs it. So when the light does come on, fill it up. You can get it at most petrol stations now, as it's a common thing on most new Euro 6 engines, which are diesel. Fill it up, otherwise it will count down the mileage until basically when the mileage gets so low, it will just not start the engine until you've topped the AdBlue up. You've got your Ford weight plate there, but that's different now because it's been converted to a motorhome, so that'll be totally different, so ignore that. And then coming round to your bonnet, so to open your bonnet, use your main Ford key, put it in there, go to the left and then go to the right, so and that'll open your bonnet. And then in here you do have your new weight plate, so it's 3.5 ton gross vehicle weight, 3.5 ton train weight because it's the Ford automatic. And then it's front and back axle weights. You've got your chassis number and you've got your Chausson build number, your HOL number. So they're unique to each different vehicle. And then coming into the bonnet, you've got your oil filler, your oil dipstick, your brake fluid. The main one you're going to need when out on the open road is your screen wash. You've got your radiator fluid here. Underneath this red cap is your positive for giving or receiving a jump start or putting a charger on during the winter, and your negative would go in earth off the engine hoist here. So in here on the driver's side, this is your gas locker, so liquid petroleum gas. So this is where your 6 kilogram propane gas bottle lives. So make sure that your bottles are strapped in, and to attach the pigtail to the bottle you'll need adjustable spanner, left hand thread, and then nip it up, and then to turn it on at the top of the bottle. But it's best just when turning it on to give it one full turn on the top of the bottle, because if you do have an emergency and you've got to isolate the gas, it's far easier to do one turn it off than a few turns to turn the bottle off. And to operate the lock, which are the same on your garage, you've got dots, so go dot on the outer lock to the inner lock frame, so dot to dot, a quarter of a turn with the key, and then push it, and that's in. And then a release, just a quarter of a turn, and the lock will pop out. Your habitation door is on the central locking, so when you lock the van, it locks this door. That beeping's indicating that the door is open. And then on the bottom, so the top just opens the cab, and the bottom just opens that door. The middle locks all the doors, but you can manually lock it as well with the key. You've got your 2 fridge vents underneath here. So the driver's rear wheel is your waste water, so this is the water you've used: dishes water, hand basin water, showering water. So if you pull this, you'd normally drive over a grid, which is called the motorhome service bay, on the way out of a site and ditch your water. So you'd pull that and you'd open your drains for your fresh and let it all out. In the winter it's crucial that you let all these out because your waste tank is underslung, and if the water freezes in that tank it will cause cracking to the piping and tanks and can be very expensive. And you'll also want to open your boiler drain, which I will show you once inside the vehicle. This here is your toilet, so your toilet's up here, that's where you do your business. This is where your business ends up. And to make sure the slide on the toilet is shut, which I'll show you from inside, but if it is shut, you'll be able to lift the orange handle on the cassette and it will be able to pull forward. You've then got some wheels so you can depart it around the site without carrying it. And then to empty, take the grey cap off, go to your waste disposal point, which is normally at the side or behind the toilet block. Press the button, this allows air in, stops it glugging. Tip it away. Once you've tipped it away, there's normally a tap there. Put in a bit of water in, give it a slosh around, tip it again, and then if you are using the liquid, a capful of liquid into here, or if you are using the tablets, a pint of water, and then drop a tablet straight down the toilet. They're just like a dishwasher tablet in a cellophane, and that will degrade into your liquid. At the back of the vehicle you've got your good size garage, which has mains electric 12 volt and is heated by the diesel heating. And with it being the easy box system on the 720, you can put your winding handle in and wind it down, or you can wind it up if you want to put your bikes or larger items in. You've also got your awning on this side, so you've got your awning bar. So this is your winding handle, and you've got a rafter bar, which is the longer bar. So this just goes in the middle of the awning to give it extra support. But to get your awning out, you pop the handle onto the front here and wind. So if you wind it out until you can reach inside the canopy, so about there, and then you do have two legs. So you've got, so if you pull these forward towards you, and then you've got a nut which drops the leg, and you can adjust it any height. So if you drop them both down as soon as you can possibly do so, so it gives the awning the support it needs. And then you can wind and walk the legs out further. If you are going to use an air awning on the front, it's got a C-rail which slides on from the back of the vehicle. So you drive away kit, and then you can put a full air tent on here to give you extra space. But when you go to bed and when you go out for the day, do make sure the awning is in, unless you are using storm straps, as the wind will just make this act like a big sail, and you don't want it to cause damage to your van or other people's. And then once you're finished with it, wind it in, and when the red tab next to the winding handle goes in, you know it is securely shut and ready for travelling, like so. At the back of the vehicle, you've got your high level brake light and built-in reverse camera. You've got these bars here, so if you ever want the bike rack fitted, these are where the back panel is strengthened for the bike rack to clip on there. And then you do have mouldings for your parking sensors if you want them fitted, so they look factory fresh. Right. This is how to operate your main control panel. So at the top to the left hand side, you've got your on button. So this will illuminate green. This will either give you 230 volts, which will mean you can use a normal 2-3 pin household plug, which because you're on hookup, or it'll give you 12 volt if you're just on your leisure battery. Next to it, you've got your light. So this is a master switch for all your down lights, and then they are all individually switched around the vehicle. You've got the picture of the tap. This is your pump. So this services your toilet, your shower, your hand basin tap, and your kitchen tap. So you must have this on. You must have this on to surface the water, otherwise you'll just get whatever's left in the pipe. And then you have your awning light, which is above the door. So if you're sitting out on a lovely evening and it gets a bit dusk, you can put the awning light on. Or if you just go for a walk and you want to find the van, put the light on. Far easier. And then coming down here, you've got the one that looks like a trailer. This is showing your leisure battery reading. We are hooked up at the moment as well, as it's showing the little green dot. This will give a true reading on the leisure battery when you are unhooked. And then you've got the picture of the truck. This is showing your Ford engine battery. So there, it's fully charged. And then you've got the one of the wavy lines. This is your fresh water. So it's showing we've got half a tank of fresh water on board. This will go red and to indicate the waste is full. And then you do have your panel. So if you're in the bed, you can dim the panel. Next to it, you've got your Webasto diesel heating. So it's always, you must have a quarter of a tank or more for the diesel heating to work, and always start it on full blast, and then you can turn it down to your desired temperature, as it means it makes the combustion quicker. But you can use this when you're on the road should you have rear passengers and it's cold, or you just simply want to heat the van prior to your arrival on site. Thermostats here for the heating, and you do have your lights for your door and your kitchen here. And then below you've got your little blue lights, which are your your entrance lights, and so these will guide you to the toilet on the night, so like a night light, and you've got your other lights. In your kitchen area, you've got 2 gas rings and 1 electric hot plate, only on 240 volt, so that'll indicate here by the red light, and the others a light like so. And then you do have your grill to the right hand side, and your oven there, and your grill. So you might have to hold your grill for a little bit just to make sure the thermocouple gets warm before releasing the knob at the front. And then you have your grill pan and oven shelves. Take these out when travelling as they can rattle a little, or wrap them up in a tea towel. In this cupboard here, you've got a good amount of storage, and you've got your cutlery drawer. You've also got your switch for your electric drop down bed, your bunk at the back, and your table which is electric, which I'll go through in a moment. And in here you've got storage, but your main switch in here. So this is your Truma boiler on gas. So if you're heating the water on gas, make sure that covers off outside behind the passenger door. And then you've got off in the middle, 50 degrees at the top of heating your water, or 70 degrees at the bottom. Once the water hits either 50 or 70 degrees, it will cut out because it's heated the water to that desired temperature inside the boiler, which holds 10 litres. Once it gets colder than that, it will kick back in to heat the water back to that temperature. To operate your windows on board, you've got a little catch in there, so press the buttons in, pull the tabs back. You've got 3, push it out, it will stay out, and then you push it all the way to bring it back in. Make sure your skylights and your windows are shut when travelling, and then if you pinch them together, you've got a blackout blind and you've got a fly screen. They clip together, so to unclip them, just pinch them, and then you've got your window free there. This is how to use your Dometic fridge. So if you just press and hold the on button, the fridge will then come on. Like so. And then it's automatically on auto, which means if the hookup was to be taken out and the gas was to be open, it would switch over to gas, or the engine was to be started, it would send a feed from the engine and put on the battery setting, which basically sends a feed from the engine, a 12 volt feed, to keep the fridge at the same temperature it was when departing. So the idea here is to cool the fridge the night before you go away. If you are keeping this at home or your storage yard's got hookup, put your shopping in and leave it to cool overnight. Or if you are on site and you're travelling to another site, it will put on a battery. If it's on auto, it'll do it itself. If it's not, you can manually override by pressing mode. So you can take it off auto. It's failed there because we're stationary at the moment, the engine's not running. It's letting you know it's failed. It's on gas, self ignites, and it's on mains electric on the plug. And then you've got your temperature here, so 1 dubber going all the way to 5 being the coldest. These are just travel catches on the back, on the bottom and the top, and then you can pull the fridge open. You've got a freezer compartment here which is removable should you want the extra space. Above it you have your TV aerial, so if you loosen this off, pull this in, so when travelling this must be pulled in and tighten the nut. But when you are on site, you can push it up and turn the toggle to find the best reception. But a tip is to look where the other motorhomes and caravans are pointing. You do have your TV booster at the back there, so at the back you've got min and max on the Vision Plus amplifier, so if the TV signal is either too strong or not strong enough, you can boost and lower the signal. And you do have a 12 volt socket at the top, so should you want to charge anything you can in there as well. Your TV, so this is on a Project 2000 bracket, so if you press this chrome catch here and slide it out like so, turn the telly on. This is 12 volts, so no need for hookup. You just need to make sure you've got a fully charged leisure battery. And once you do move site, if you just press menu here and go down to channel and do an auto search, press OK, it'll find as many channels as it can in your area. On there as well you do have source, so you can change it from, so should you want to plug anything in, HDMI or anything, you can by changing the source. And to operate your skylight, this telly will turn around by using the lever at the bottom, so you can turn it around into the bedroom. And you can adjust the height of the telly. And to operate your skylight in the kitchen area, you've got a winder. You wind and it will open. You've got a blackout and a fire screen on there, but when travelling, like I've said, these must be shut as they're just plastic and you don't want them to damage themselves by the wind. To operate your drop down bed and electric table, you've got two switches which is just next to the cooker beside the sink. You drop the table first and drop it to the lowest position. You can also use this as a coffee table if it does get in your way. Just drop the table down during the day like so. And then if you were wanting to make the bed below, you can pull the table out, the support, push it over, drop the table down, make sure it's in the middle. There's two infill cushions in the garage, one which is a flat infill cushion which goes towards the cab, and one with a leg which goes towards the door, kitchen area, and then you've got a double bed here. But if you are just solely using the drop down bed, just drop this table down and then you switch beside it, operates your electric drop down bed which will come all the way down to the sofa. But if you are using it as a bed underneath, you'll just have to stop it at the desired height and the ladder clips on. And then underneath you've got your ladder and you've got your nets should you have children up there. There's a main, take your pillows off the bed, but you leave your duvet and your sheet on there. And then in the corner of the cab, you've got your key, which is your master switch for these switches. So the key must be set on, otherwise these switches won't work, which means your bed and your table won't operate. But behind there, this cowl lifts off, and it, should you ever have a 12 volt failure with the bed down, you can put a manual wind handle on the top and wind the bed up to get the bed out the way. On the front of your bench seat behind your passenger seat, you have your 230 electric switch for your water heater. So off in the middle, 1 kilowatt at the top and 2 kilowatts at the bottom. This will heat the water until it's at the desired temperature in the boiler, then cut out and cut back in once the water cools down. Behind you have your boiler, so you've got your water pump. That's your boiler. It holds 10 litres of water at any one time. In the winter it's crucial that you don't let the water freeze in the boiler. So to drain off your boiler, this tap here, so come in with the pump off and lift it up like so, and leave it standing up, and it'll let all the water cascade underneath the chassis. It's very important that you drain the boiler off, as it's not covered by warranty and it's very expensive to replace or repair. You've also got your gas tap here for your boiler, so should your boiler be leaking gas, you can isolate it like so. But the safest thing to do with your gas taps is turn it off at the top of the bottle. You'll have the same gas taps underneath your fridge. You'll have one for your fridge, one for your oven, and the little cupboard underneath the fridge. But like I've said, safest item, turn it off at the top of the bottle to be safe. These are mainly for when the van is serviced by a hab technician, just to make sure that your gas is working correctly. This is how to erect your travelling seats in the rear. So you've got a knob on the front of the bench seat, turn it back and the seat base backrest will lift up. You've got Isofix on the seat as well, so should you need a car seat, and then use the base cushion and the backrest. Use the base cushions and the backrest to fill the space, so this lifts out and then that goes behind, and then just put the seat belt through, and then you've got your seat belt buckle underneath, which you can, and then you can, this panel can just be slid in for the feet of the passenger. Now in the back of the vehicle, you've got your wardrobe space here. You've got your shower with roof lights, so to open, turn this round, and then you do have a blackout blind and a fly screen on there. They are on a spring, so be careful with that. And you've got your hanging rail for your wet coats or your wet towels. And to this side you've got your toilet. So the light for your bathroom is just underneath your sink, and you've got the same roof light on there with hanging rail and your blinds. Like so. These slide along and for your toiletry cupboards, and then operate your toilet. Make sure the pump's on, press the button and it will fill the bowl with flush. And then you've got the trap door, which is the grey slide here. So just slide it to your right and it'll open the trap door and allow your waste to deposit in the cassette. If this is open like so, the cassette won't come out the exterior of the van. It must be shut like that. And then when your cassette is full, this wheel will go red, indicating it's 3/4 to full and requires to be emptied, changed and topped up with chemical, like I've explained from the exterior of the van. And then in the winter, it's crucial that you leave all your taps open in the middle position, just to stop any airlocks. So come in, drain all your water off, and don't put any electricity on, power or pump, and just leave them open ajar. And it'll stop allow any water that's stuck in the pipe out, and it'll stop any airlocks. Do that with your shower and your kitchen tap as well. The other switch in the kitchen operates your bed. So this switch here operates this bed. So you can pull the bed down to any height you want it, or bring it all the way down. This is obviously in the highest position, as I've wound it up from the outside, but you do have storage underneath, as it's an easy box system. But this can be lowered to here, and then you've got a small step and your light switches for the back. To make your fifth travelling seat opposite to the seat I've just shown you, which duplicates on that side as well, put your backrest, which is stored in your garage. This just slides into the grooves like so. So just lift it up and then slide it in, use the base cushion. You've got your buckle and your belt there, so someone can travel backwards and put the feet into that space there once that seat's up. Now in the cab, I'll go through the cab controls. So to the right of the driver, you've got your mirror adjustment, you've got your electric windows. On the doors, you've got this locks and unlocks the doors, and also lock the habitation door. You've got your lights, so you can just leave them on A and they're automatic. You've got your headlight adjustment, or you can turn them to main beam or your side lights. Plus and the minus, it'll lower or brighten the clocks on the main dashboard when the lights are on, and you've got your front and back fogs. This handbrake is what's called a fold away handbrake, so you might think that it's off there now but it's not. You pull the handbrake up, press the lever and pull down, and then that's the handbrake off when the light's on, and it's back on there. With it being a automatic, you've got park, reverse, neutral, drive and manual, but you've also got a switch here on the side, a thumb switch, so should you need to intervene and lower or raise a gear, you can do. And you've got your mode, so you've got your drive mode, normal, eco. So you've got normal and eco, which will save your fuel or allow it to have a little bit more power. And then you do have your traction control light like so. On here you've got your temperature, so you can turn all the way to hot, and your max will come on for your demister for your screen, or you can go all the way to cold and turn it on and your aircon will come on like so. But you have got a switch for your aircon, you've got a recirculation switch, you've got your sending the heat down to your footwells or your face, your demister button there, and your mirrors. But with it being a Ford, it does have the great feature of a heated windscreen, so you can put that on and it'll clear the screen within 30 seconds because it's the rapid screen. And you have your temperature like so. Above you've got your radio, so you can turn it on, turn it on. It is FM, so to find FM you've got FM. You can scroll through with this knob here to your right, so you've got that, and then you've got DAB, so DAB, probably what most of people will use these days anyway, and it'll find as many channels as it can by scrolling through, and once you're happy press 1 to 6 to save. You can also go to Bluetooth audio, so if you do pair your phone and you've got music on your phone, you can use it to stream your music. So you can add a device like so and search for Ford audio. You've got your phone, it's the same again. Once it's connected with Bluetooth, you'll be able to use your hands free, and you can skip through your tracks on your phone or your radio channels. Above you've got a holder there for your phone or your sat nav, and you've got a 12 volt on the top. So you've got a 12 volt here and a USB for putting your music into the head unit. Glove box, cup holders on both sides, so cup holders and big door bins for storing water, good sized water bottle. Reverse camera and rear view camera, so it works in drive and in reverse. And then you've got all your settings here, which will go through your trip computer. So if you want to press and reset, just press OK and hold. You've got you've got maintenance, so you can see your oil and add blue levels. So you've got 5,500 miles until your AdBlue needs topped up. You can set your key information, and you've got all your values, so your trip, so you can reset them all like so, and all your values there. Your average speed, you can change, you can reset all this should you need to, your average fuel. But if you just go to display, you can go through your language, but you can just scroll up. So you can have a digital speedo, have your instant fuel usage, but we're stationary at the moment and the engine's not running. Your range, your average speed, your average consumption, because this has only been round the forecourt, it hasn't been on the road yet, and your travelling times, like so. And then to turn your seats, so on both seats you've got 2 bars. The half bar turns the seat. If it does get stuck, pull the seat forward, pull the seat forward, pull it forward and turn. And you've got the same on the driver as well.